children of the night. What music they make.
They're all gonna laugh at you!
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
What's that?
I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash you a bit.
Get ready, because no one's going to save you for this week's Final Guys.
Nor should
True. How's everybody doing?
Not bad.
I'm drinking wine out of a
good.
plastic cup. I don't know what that says.
Life is good.
So swanky.
It says you had me at Merlot, and I'm drinking.
Oh. Well, we're the Final Guys. I'm Jack. That's Dick Disclosure Shay.
Bring it on.
Beer will save me, Brant.
Hello.
Lovecraft Lodge and Lusky. Ooh.
Evening.
And I'm the illegal alien. It's no fun being an illegal alien.
Yeah. Ask half the people in New York right now.
Tonight, we're going to talk about the new Hulu movie, No One Will Save You, which is about aliens. But before we get that, we got a lot to cover before we get to that. So, anything to report before we get going?
Yeah, our buddy Armand Rosamilia just had a book come out last week titled St. John's River Monster through Severed Press and has a main character in it called Hunter Shea.
Again? God damn it! I got to buy another one of these. Can he stop?
This is how he gets his 3 sales. He names someone that they have to buy the book.
That's 3 books now. Hunter Shea has been in 3 books. He's an asshole cryptozoologist. So there we go. I got to buy that.
That's freaking hysterical. I love that. That's cool. I don't even think to talk about his books half time. It feels like he has one out every 2 weeks.
Yeah. He's prolific.
It's like I just assume we're on Final Guys. He has a book out this week.
Right. I put him in whatchamacallit, To the Devil or Cryptid. To return the favor. As a asshole wannabe Satanist. Gotcha. Jack, we have news.
That's what I was going to ask you.
Yeah, we got big news. It's a year in the making almost. A new episode of Monster Men. Holy shit.
They're back, baby.
Whoa.
Who knew?
It's
Did
our
you guys
Halloween
record
episode.
in person?
No.
We did it remotely.
I was in PA surrounded by deer. And Jack
the first
was
broadcast from the new compound.
Exactly. And the internet was pretty good.
He was not in a bathroom unless you count the woods.
No, I was in a
It's one giant
porch.
bathroom.
It was beautiful. But we did our 31 Days of Halloween, the book that Steve Hutchison does. And you kind of roll the dice, you play a game, and it picks your movies for October. So there we go.
This is probably the best list. We always get an interesting list.
Yeah.
But this is probably like the best list that we've pulled.
Far less cat turds than usual in the box.
Yeah. So that's on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts.
I have to say, with these lights behind you, it looks like you're getting ready to shoot a snuff film up in that attic.
By the way, I did this so it looks kind of like Close Encounters. It's kind of like
It looks more like 8mm.
Well, anything's possible up here. Any son of a bitch wanders up here, anything can happen. So
Watch out, machine is behind you. All right. Well, with that, what are the drinking words for tonight?
oh, can you? Do we have them? Can you flash
Yes, we
them?
do. Yes, we
Can
do.
I read
All right,
them?
There we go.
do it. You do it.
All right, Jack. Now you all know drinking words mean you drink when we say these words. So when Jack says different monster or invasion, take a drink. My words are tall, gray, and snatchers. This isn't a porno podcast. Jason's words are movie, throat, again, and effects. Mr. Lutsky's are aliens, streaming, and letters. And the bonus words, if we all say these, Hulu, home, and war, you must imbibe. Good luck.
Okay.
Godspeed, drinkers. No one will save her from this movie. All right. Well, before we get to that, and believe me, this is another week where we're all dying to hear what Hunter thinks of this movie. But if nothing else, let's get to the award-winning news segment.
It's the news. Yay.
Jack, I have an old soccer trophy I can give you if you want to like hold it up as an award for the news.
Definitely.
Because I have no need for it.
I'm going to go get it re-engraved.
Yeah, exactly. Last place.
Can you imagine
1959.
the guy at the engraving store? Hi, I'd like you to put...
Award-winning news podcast. With this soccer player. That's all tarnished.
World's greatest news segment.
That'd be awesome.
And now to live up to that, the big news this week, and Jason, you're a big time YouTuber now. You're probably raking in enough cash to purchase this. Miramax is currently shopping the rights for film and TV to the Halloween franchise.
Where? I thought we were done.
They're not done. The Blumhouse, who owns that? Whoever
Mr.
Blumhouse is working with,
Jason Blum.
maybe it's Miramax that owns it now. The deal with Blumhouse is up, so the Jamie Lee Curtis stuff is done, but now they're open to film or TV or whatever. So they are shopping that bad boy. So Michael Myers
I gotcha.
will be back to the highest bidder,
And it will be with Blumhouse. Is that what you're saying?
No, it's up for...
It's anyone.
The rights are up for grabs.
Yeah, we can own it.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
At first I thought you were saying they were selling the rights like out, like we're done, we're out of the business. I was like, that's such a cash cow. Why would they do that? They're licensing it.
Yeah. I say they redo Halloween 3 and then every year put out a new Halloween, but a different non-Michael Myers story, like they wanted to do.
I feel like that's kind of what VHS has become.
Too late
if you just
for that.
do that yearly.
But put Tom Atkins in it again. Still slinging dick at 80. Like, that's what I want to see.
Whoever gets this is rebooting Michael Myers. And if they do that, I would like them to just leave Laurie Strode out of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're done with that. Yeah.
Just
move
kill babysitters.
Let's just do a Thrasher with get the mask right, and yeah, man.
I mean, if you're redoing it, it has to be Michael Myers, right? But do you just start over brand new? There is no Laurie Strode sister nonsense. It's just a kid goes crazy, and 20 years later he's rampaging. Is that what you do? Because if you stray too far, you're going to piss everybody off. But if you just keep redoing the same shit, you're going to piss everybody off.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see somebody take this and go like what they're doing with Friday the 13th and make a series out of it and go with Michael Myers from a kid and all that. But who knows?
Can we get Robey from Friday the 13th, the TV series, out of retirement? Remember her?
Is that how you pronounced her name? I always called her Robbie.
I would say Robey sounded sexier. That red hair. Hot
Stephen
ginger.
Colbert.
Colbert.
Do we know what's going on with the Friday the 13th stuff? I mean, that was settled, right?
It was.
As far as I know, yeah.
Well, there's Peacock or NBC is going to have a prequel series. That's the next thing that's coming.
So they have a prequel series, and it's supposed to be a movie next year, but everything is screwed up because of the strike. So,
there was supposed to... Okay, so a new movie was in development. Okay.
Yes.
I don't know. To me, that's like the one series that, like, you just make 1 million of those. It doesn't matter. Just have them killing top-heavy
Kill people.
Camp counselors, and everyone's happy.
He started out with very light top-heavy. There were no top-heavy people in the beginning.
No, but the series also got better,
Yeah, no, I agree. They figured it out.
They figured out the formula.
Should we do a lot of prequels to all these?
God damn it.
I mean, you're going to get the series is going to be a prequel. The Camp Crystal Lake thing will be.
Michael Myers needs to go to space at some point.
No,
He
man.
needs to go to hell.
No.
Just end it.
Yeah, he didn't. Jason did.
Leprechaun
Found-
did. Hellraiser did.
found-
Hellraiser did.
Found footage Friday the 13th, found footage Halloween. One of them, at least.
I think found
I
footage
can
Friday
see
the 13th is perfect because all the camp counselors now are going to have cell phones.
Yeah.
I mean, you could do such a cool thing with that, which means they absolutely never will.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, security cameras. I bet all these camps have crazy security cameras now because everybody's so protective of their children. I bet you could do something really neat that way.
That'd
I'd
be,
like to
that'd be
see-
part of the build where they would preface everything like, I thought they shut this place down. No, yeah, they did, but now that's why they got all these cameras to make sure that everyone's kept safe or whatever. I can see
Yeah.
them preface it like that.
I'd
We
like
have
to
armed security
see.
guards.
I'd like to see that Camp Crystal Lake has such good security and cameras and motion detector lights and stuff that Jason just goes somewhere else.
Goes to Blairstown, where it was shot. Just
The movie's
backs up down.
Go to
the movie's
Blair
just a bunch
Academy.
of deer.
Go to Blair Academy down the street and kill all the.
Dude,
All the
I'm going to be
faculty.
living 13 miles away from Blairstown. So
Ah,
I'm going to spend a
nice.
lot of time over there.
Jack, you're a goddamn genius. What if he got on a boat in Camp Crystal Lake and rode the boat from the lake to New York City and then terrorized there?
That'd be
yes.
crazy.
That's $1 million idea.
Horrible.
That might make the worst movie in the franchise.
And then we'll just shoot the whole thing in Vancouver. Perfect.
Exactly, on a giant fucking steamer ship. Oh my gosh.
Then later we'll blow him up and eat his heart, and then he can jump from body to body.
Yeah, he doesn't even need to be in the movie. It's
There
perfect.
you go.
I love it. Green light that sucker. Where's Harvey Weinstein? Is he around? Is he available?
There's more Halloween news, but we're going to swerve to another story first and then come back to it. So we know that Eli Roth's Thanksgiving is coming out this Thanksgiving.
Yes.
And that if I was going to make a horror movie, I would seriously consider basing it around a holiday, because especially with all the podcasts like us around the holiday, everybody's looking for a Christmas, they're looking for a Thanksgiving. It's your license to make something that will at least be revisited every year, or at least have a chance to.
Like my
So-
independent Easter and the Keister. But it's not horror.
Easter is what I'm here to talk about. There's a
Really?
movie in development called Easter Bloody Easter.
Oh, that's
Okay.
lazy. But okay.
Diane Foster is directing it and also stars in it. She stars as a woman who must protect her small town from the jackalope, based on the mythical rabbit antelope creature of the North American folklore, and his army of devilish bunnies as they embark on a murder spree over the Easter weekend.
The jackalope.
See,
Hunter-
when I hear that, I think of like the frigging dude from Full House. Like the joke
Yes. Yeah. What was it?
Yeah.
America's Funniest People or whatever?
Yeah.
Remember that
Oh.
show?
Yeah.
And there was a family who would make these jackalope tapes and send
Yeah.
it in.
Uh-huh.
Really? That's where we're at for Easter? Why?
Hunter, you're the cryptid expert. Does this count as a cryptid?
I mean, it's periphery. You can drag it in if you want. I would not include it, but sure.
Here's your challenge. You have to write a jackalope
Yeah,
book.
there you go.
It has to be good.
Jackalope erotica. That would be a challenge. A challenge accepted. I could do that. I can make Jackalope fun. They won't. That movie will suck. But
That'd
I
be
could
brutal.
make it fun.
I smell main feature. That's all.
What
I'm
about
saying.
Swamp Monster Easter? I should
Swamp
do a series-
Monster? Swamp Monster Jackalope.
Swamp Monster Arbor Day. Swamp Monster 4th of July.
Christmas in the swamp.
What monster Juneteenth?
It's about inclusion and diversity, fuckers. Oh, that could be a lot of fun to write.
That could be.
Okay, let's go back to Halloween to close out the session.
Please.
For the first time in 40 years, the novelization of the original Halloween movie has been re-released. So if you didn't get a chance to, read it when it first came out. It's back. You could go to
Really?
Printed in Blood to get your reprinted
Hey,
edition.
Chad.
Do we think Chad's going to look for the book right now?
Sorry. I should have muted.
Chad, you can tell everybody how much it costs. There's now the
Scoop Lutsky has a deadline.
it's a pretty impressive looking book, and it's got additional artwork. But Chad, have you got the page?
I went straight to Amazon. What was the website called again?
Printed in Blood.
Printed in Blood. I went there. Well, there's an art book that's available. There's also the Thing art book. But you're talking about the novelization?
Yeah, but it's actually, it looks like a bigger book. Like I think there's new artwork in it.
Okay. You can pre-order.
It's wild to me that so many of these books have been lost over time. Like, I understand these companies are huge and they don't have a good grasp of their back catalog, but how hard is it to put some of these in digital? You know, just
they
leave
don't
them up
give
there
a
in
shit.
Kindle. It's wild.
By the way, the one I see is an art book for $45.
That's it.
Yeah, it's $50 on here.
$50.
No, thank you.
Limited edition.
It
It
has
is the novelization.
5 pieces of art.
It is the novelization, but it's illustrated
Oh,
and it's a
Yeah.
hardcover.
wow, that's kind of cool.
It's
Can I get
Schnazola.
it mass market paperback, please, with just words?
That's what I wanted.
Anybody?
That's
I was
what-
looking for.
When I heard, I was like, "Ooh, paperback!
Yeah.
Sign me up!" And then I saw that, I was like, "Oh, this is more something like Hunter should get this for me for Christmas."
Dude, I've been packing so many giant books like that. Now I regret every purchase. God.
So
But I'd love to read the novelization. I want now. Tim Wagner, our friend, has done novelizations of the new ones.
Yeah, I read that. Or he did one of them.
He only did. I thought he did 2.
No,
I
he
could be
did one
wrong.
of them.
Okay.
but that's it. That's all the news that fit the print.
You know what?
Let's
That
get
wasn't
going.
bad, Jack. Thank God.
Hey,
Thank you, Jack.
God bless.
Broken clock is.
We have such sights to show you.
How are you the only one I ever cut off at that? Oh, it's only you.
I always have something to say.
Yeah.
I just said a
Doesn't
broken
He doesn't
clock
know
is
when to
right
shut up.
twice a day. There we go. Fine.
All right, it's time for what we watched. So, eeny, meeny, miny, Lutsky.
All right.
Meeny, miny, moe.
This is a movie on Shudder. It says 2022 on the IMDb thing, but I don't know if it's one of those ones where we can count it as 2023 because it just made it there. It's called The Ones You Didn't Burn. Is this a new one? I don't remember seeing it.
It's new on Shudder. I watched it,
Yeah.
Chad. I refuse
Okay.
to put it on my list.
So yeah, in my continued search to find movies from 2023 that could maybe end up on our top 10 list, I run into this one. Sister and brother come back to the home they grew up in order to sell it after their dad has committed suicide. The brother's a recovering addict. The sister's kind of a loner. You know, you could tell she's, I don't know, needs friends or something. Separately, they both start hanging out with the farmhands, who happen to be women, who slowly reveal they're into witchy stuff.
We never
This
seen
is
him
a-
do any farm stuff, by the way. One is
Yeah.
big. He could probably do a lot. The other looks.
One is
useful.
big. She reminds me of the chick from that 70s show.
Yeah, Laura
Yeah,
Prepon.
she's like, yeah, like a big, you know, not big fat, just a big woman.
Yeah.
You're a great
If
big
you
fat
will.
person.
This is a pretty slow burn, but the acting is good.
That was perfect.
The acting's good, and up to a certain point, I had a good time trying to figure out exactly what was going on. But with the slow burns, you want to have a payoff, and for me, I was left unsatisfied. I don't want to completely dissuade people from watching it, as it's not a horrible movie.
It is.
I'm sure there are people who will enjoy this. None of the people sitting here right now. Trust me, if anyone would be drooling over this, it would be me.
Yep. And you didn't.
But
Because it
it's
sucked.
not a movie that I'll be recommending.
Jesus.
a week later, I watched it last week. A week later, I had to like skim through the movie again just to remember a lot of it, so that I could, write some notes and stuff. Particularly the end. Though to be fair, I did watch it while I was kind of tired. That being said, it's only 67 minutes long, so it's not that much of a sacrifice to find out if
It
it's
feels
true or
like
not.
670 minutes.
It's not that bad.
I mean, if you're
I
calling a
wanted-
67-minute movie a slow burn, that's got to be moving at a snail's pace.
Yeah, it is. I
Yeah.
wanted to rip his man bun off his skull.
It just the lack of payoff makes it. I can see some people liking this, especially people who are really into like just anything to do with witches or the occult or Wiccan stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
You didn't mention the man bun. I'm out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the guy's got a
I
man
almost
bun.
turned it off when I saw the man bun, but
Yeah.
yeah,
It does the thing I hate most of movies. Everybody walks and talks like they're in quicksand. And I can't stand that shit. I'm like, come on.
yeah. I suppose you could call it a, what do they call that? Is it mumblecore or is it?
It's
what's the term?
mumblecore-ish for sure.
Like, yeah, it's
You haven't
mumblecore-ish,
said
but-
a single thing that makes me want to watch this movie.
No, Jason, you would hate this movie. You would hate it.
you would
Don't
punch
watch-
yourself into unconsciousness just to get out of it.
Yeah, you do not want to watch the ones you didn't burn on Shudder.
Slow burn, man bun, mumblecore. Man, that sounds brutal.
Done.
All right, let's go up to Jason. Round to Hunter.
All right.
I'm going to be doing this on So Bad It's Good on Sunday, but
Spoilers
I wanted to bring it
tonight.
up. What's that?
Spoilers tonight.
Wow. It's an Uwe Boll film
Oh,
called Alone in the Dark. Did you guys ever see this?
Yeah,
I believe I have.
I didn't see I saw the original one with Jack Palance and Donald Pleasance.
You know, this is not the same thing.
Okay.
This is based on a video game, as all of Uwe Boll's movies were in the 2000s.
Yep.
This one, though, has Tara Reid as a scientist.
Oh yeah.
That's
You
awesome.
cannot beat that casting. I mean, you just literally put glasses on her, pull her hair back in a ponytail. Scientist.
Christian Slater and Steven Dorff, and you watch this for So Bad It's Good?
Jesus.
Dude, look at the rating. 2.4
Oh, wow.
out of 10.
I love Steven Dorff.
Well,
Steven Dorff-
IMDb doesn't.
I really like Steven Dorff too. The problem is he's kind of the kiss of death for a movie. If he's in it, it's not going to make money. I don't know why. He's one of those guys who's a good actor who just it was always like right there, but never quite
He's got
got
a
over
bad
the hump
agent.
for whatever reason. But like all of Uwe Boll's movies, it has a good cast. He did a really good job getting people. I think it was between projects. I can't remember exactly.
What year
he
is this?
said. 2005?
So like
2005.
where are we on the Tara Reid scale from? Like,
Still looking good after American Pie.
American
Smoke
Pie was what, 99?
Yeah, Smoke Show, American Pie to Trainwreck.
So she's partying hard here, though.
Yeah, here she's in full train wreck mode, but she still looks good.
What's her voice like?
She sounds like Tara Reid. She's got a little coke bloat going on, but like her body looks fine. Her face is just puffy from coke.
Oh,
I mean, look at
look at
that
her.
image. There you go.
I
Yeah.
may have seen this movie. I remember.
I saw this movie back then.
This is a wild movie. It's got a lot of money. Some of the effects hold up, some of them don't. But what makes this movie a hilarious watch is the story doesn't make one lick of goddamn sense. I couldn't tell you from scene to scene what we were trying to
Look,
accomplish.
scientist.
Yeah,
Scientist.
glasses,
Yeah.
hair in the bun.
Yeah. I mean, she's still wearing the same shit she wore in American Pie, but she has glasses on now.
That looks like if you were looking up like art for like a magazine ad or something. Like
Yeah.
female scientist.
Well, here's the thing with Uwe Boll. He is actually good at framing a movie. He does really insane shit in that frame, but it usually looks pretty good. It's usually lit fairly well. He just does crazy shit. And this movie is no different. It is wild. There are so many gunfights in this, like full out Predator style gunfights where they're just shooting at shit you can't see.
Right.
That is this movie.
Scientist.
But see, I mean, she's still looking good. Actually, I think there might be a little
blinded me with
Photoshop there
science.
because she's looking a little
She
less
looks really good
bloated.
right there. Well, like Christian Slater looks real good too.
Like when Christian Slater is in great shape in this. He takes his shirt off at one point, and I was like, "Whoa, I don't remember him being built like that." But
Feel something move?
this, you can tell the writing is good in this movie because it starts with a novella scroll at the beginning. I mean, it makes the Star Wars scroll seem really short. There is so much information at the beginning that you're like, wait a minute, what time is it when the movie starts? Because it's so insane. So if you haven't watched this, this is a movie.
Yeah.
I have not seen it, and I actually own it on DVD.
Go.
I don't
Really?
Yeah, I don't know how I got it, but yeah.
Bargain basement bin somewhere.
If you like bad writing, this will make you laugh.
Feels like a good double feature with the new Tara Reid Vampire Queen movie that's going to come out.
Oh, Jesus. God help
Could
the
be.
world.
Could be.
Hunter, top that. Come on.
All right. I don't know if I can top that.
I know.
Because I actually have a pretty good movie. It's from the late 50s called Curse of the Demon. Not Night of the Demons, Curse of the Demon. And I probably saw this when I was a kid, but I keep seeing, I don't know, some Twitter account keeps showing the demon's face, and every week I see it. I was like, let me check this movie out. So this movie's really, really good. It's low budget, as you can see on that image there. They actually filmed at Stonehenge at one point. So there's
cool.
a butthole American professor who thinks he knows everything, goes to a parapsychology conference. And just before he gets there, one of the people that was supposed to be there is murdered by a giant demon. And the whole movie is about trying to convince, but that guy right there standing is a Satanist. So he is kind of like a witch, Wiccan, Satan-loving, demon-conjuring dude who kind of ingratiates himself in this guy's life.
It's like King Tut from Batman.
He does. Dana Andrews is the main character, which when my wife saw him, she goes, "Is that Dana Andrews? Oh, such a tragic life." Like she's all into TCM and that stuff.
Oh.
But the special effects, as cheap as they are, when the demon is coming out of the woods with like sparks and light, and it's like the size of a tree, it's pretty fucking terrifying and really cool. I can't find any fault with this movie. It's got everything, man. It's got
a really high rating. Wow.
It's an excellent movie. It's got a great demon. It's got good acting all around. It's got a little bit of humor. You know, sometimes you got to take your foot off the gas and have a little laugh. It's excellent. I can't believe it took me this long to rewatch it, but this might end up in the general rotation. Curse of the Demon, not to be confused with Night of the Demon.
I can think of the tiny people of Stonehenge.
Yes. By the way, that effect right there with him, with like the sparks,
awesome.
and the demon coming out, it's excellent. And you're not
Like
going to get a lot
like,
of it, which is good.
Claymation or
Gargoyles.
superimposed?
Not claymation, so superimposed.
Yeah, this is one of those movies that iconic, like just his head with the smoke fog around it and stuff. Yeah, I've seen that since I was a little boy, but I've never actually taken the time. And I've seen the movie on, I think it was YouTube or something, but I've never taken the time to watch it.
Yeah, like this scene, this will induce like fear farts in somebody. The close up of the demon head, not so much, but that you might be like pushing.
Yeah,
some
it does look
boots
creepy.
Yeah, this is one of those. It's really helped by the black and white. If it was in color,
Yeah.
it might look really dumb.
It would look
So
terrible. in color.
I
Don't
agree.
watch this one on your monitor at work because the people in the next cube over can be like, fear farting.
Fear farts. So there we go.
Well-
Curse of the Demon, which was on Tubi. So it's free.
Nice.
Tubi. I watched yet another found footage movie. This one is from 2020, and it was something a little bit different. It's called M.O.M. M-O-M, M.O.M.
Oh, not Mother.
Mothers of Monsters.
Hmm.
This is kind of like, when you first hear what it's about, you're going to think of like, we need to talk about Kevin. A mother has a son who's troubled and kind of hates her. and she's having trouble, raising him. And then she kind of like goes through his stuff and finds plans to like shoot up a school and stuff. So she's like, oh my God. But when she takes him to like get help and stuff, he's not like, the tests aren't coming back like conclusive that he's a sociopath or anything. So she decides to like hide cameras around the house, and she films a lot with her camera and stuff. So it's a found footage movie where a lot of it is like videos on like a desktop and somebody's clicking on them and watching.
Right.
And then it escalates into something else. It's kind of a slow burn because it's really more of a character thing between the mother and the son and the, crappy relationship that they have. And then in kind of the final act, things really escalate. And that's where they go for sort of the horror. So I thought this was an interesting movie. Like, I definitely would recommend it for found footage fans. It's something. It's definitely something. They weren't just trying to do the gags like so many found footage movies did. It's not the most exciting movie, but it's definitely interesting. And then the end is where the, all the fun happens. But definitely worth checking out.
Does this describe all our mothers?
Yeah,
We're pretty much monsters. We're horrible human beings.
A 5.8 out of 10 on IMDb for a found footage movie is
That's
crazy high.
That's giant.
I'm sold on this.
Like, they'll give Raiders of the Lost Ark 6.5.
What does Ed Asner play in it?
Oh, Ed Asner I forgot about that. He's like a psychiatrist or something like that. He has very unflattering light and no makeup.
Poor guy. I remember I saw him at Chiller Theater, and he was in a room with Lita Ford. And my wife loved him because he was such a tiny, nice guy. And he goes, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing in this room.
That same show, I remember he was out in the hallway, and I was like waiting for you or something, and I'm standing there with Ed Asner, and I really talked to him because like he didn't really want to be bothered, so I was just
he was pretty pissed about
like,
the whole thing.
Like, holy crap, this is Lou Grant.
I didn't blame him. It's just bad.
And also, I was like, where the hell does Ed Asner come from in this movie? Again, it was like watching. Oh, my next one also has a famous person in it.
That's awesome.
Definitely worth checking out. It's
all right. Well, I'm gonna go check out some more wine. So I'll see you guys in just a little bit.
Get some for me. All right, Chad, what do you got?
Oh man, I got a cryptid movie.
Oh, you want to wait? You want to wait? Well,
sure.
Yeah, I can go. Although mine's going to be short. I played a video game called Game.exe. It was, I think it was on sale for $2. I paid for it on Steam. So I always add these games that look interesting, and I just put them on my watch list, and Steam tells me when they're on sale, and I end up buying them and not playing them for 6 years. But I finally played this one. It takes place on an old, basically Windows 98 desktop. So it's like you bought an old used computer somewhere. And when you log in, there's a bunch of stuff on the desktop, like a command box it's called, and some old chats and things like that. And you basically are trying to... The story is thin, but it seems like the guy who owned the computer is now haunting it. He was making a game on the computer, and he kind of put his soul into it. And you have to figure out how to play the game. And
Dude,
I beat the whole thing in
game ever.
I beat the whole thing in 30 minutes. So, $2 is about right. But once you are able to play the game, it's like a first-person shooter with really bad graphics. But there's that monster chases you in the game, and you have to just pick up like 8 candles before it grabs you. The sound this thing makes legitimately gave me chills the first time I beat it. And when it killed me, I was like, oh my God, this is like super intense. So it was a fun idea. Honestly, it needed to be a lot longer, and there needed to be more puzzles to make it kind of worth purchasing. It almost feels like it should be free, to be honest, because there's so little to it. And the story needed developed, and there's actually like little text files you can find in it. Open up, and when you read them, it says, "Oh, I still need to develop a story to put in the game." So the developer's aware of what this is, but it was a really fun little idea. So if you get this on sale the next time for $1 or $2, it's interesting. It's an interesting play. I dug it. So Game.exe.
Judging by the screenshots of like the Windows 98 and stuff, what made you pull the trigger on this game?
Oh my God, I don't remember why I added it to my watch list, because I would have done it about 2 years ago. Either someone told me about it or someone must have told me about it. I don't know how the hell else I would have discovered it. It's not like I'm on Steam going through games looking for something. So
Okay.
yeah, somebody must have told me about it. So I like weird experimental games like this, just like I like experimental movies, as long as they do something fun, you know, and they're cheap or free.
I like big butts, and I cannot lie.
I do not.
So
I do.
Hunter, we skipped me.
I
'cause
saw that
got a
Nicki
creature-
Minaj video for the Barbie song. Holy cow. Sorry. I was just waxing poetic about Nicki Minaj. You saw the video, you'd understand.
Yeah, no thanks. We skipped me because I wanted you here for my. And you may have seen this. I'm not sure, but I watched a creature feature called Bog on Tubi from 1979.
God, I've seen it.
The premise is dynamite fishing in a rural swamp revives a prehistoric gill monster that must have the blood of human females in order to survive. First of all, I can't believe this thing is from 1979 because the quality. I had to double check like on a different website to make sure that because I would have swore this is at least 10 years, 15 years older.
It has
the
that
quality-
Legend of Boggy Creek quality to it.
Yeah. The quality is like, I don't know, like Herschel Gordon Lewis shot a Roger Corman homage on duct tape, then dragged it down a dirt road behind a pickup.
And then kicked it in the sewer.
Yeah, the night scenes are particularly bad, which is shot like day for night. So these two married couples are out camping. The wives are absolutely miserable and bored and can't stand their husbands, whose only concern is to drink beer and make fun of their wives. Like
Is this a documentary or a movie?
It's a movie.
It's real life. True story.
It sounds very familiar.
It's how the wives get killed, and then they're creature hunting vigilantes. So they take the news to town and get the sheriff and a few scientists involved who wonder if there's a Dracula running loose.
Look at
That's
all
what
the
they said.
Draculas.
Do you think that they're? Yeah, that's what this chick says. She's like, don't laugh at me, but do you think we might have a Dracula?
That's
running
Bob
loose in our
Ross
hands?
dead in a pond right there.
And a happy little
Dracula.
lily pads.
Happy little
So-
death.
By the stuff they find, you think it's a giant mosquito because they find like this hypodermic needle type thing that's sucking all the blood out of its victims. Except when we finally see the creature here, it's just a giant Gillman outfit that
It's
looks
a mascot from a minor league baseball game.
yes, or something you might see on
Well,
like H&R Puppet stuff or something like
It's
that.
fluff and stuff.
Matter of fact, the costume is so bad that when they capture it in a net, they take it back to the lab so they can really get a good look at it and do some tests, and they leave the net on it so that you can't really see it that well.
Wow.
Do you want
Shaking
to?
and the sea monsters.
This movie did one thing that I've never seen in a horror movie before, I don't think, and that is they have a senior citizen love story subplot complete with a 5-minute makeout scene
Yes.
Yes.
while
With Aldo.
while playing the same love song that you hear 2 full times in this 80-minute movie.
Yep.
This sounds like Jaws the Revenge.
It was.
They were DTF.
It's not
sure.
good. I don't know that I would call it so bad it's good. Maybe if you, well, Jason, you're a drinker, so maybe
just
I was
bad.
going to say maybe
Oh,
if you
you
drink
have a
enough.
villain that looks like Puff and stuff, and
This is a movie that I put on in the background sometimes. If I'm doing something, I'll just put Bog on. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I like the aesthetic. I
Yeah.
like that crappy
I
kind of
get
like
it.
homemade look to it. So
I get it, man. And that's what it looks like. It's but just between that and the special effects, I was like, this is 1979. I mean, to think of all the, great movies we had I would have thought that this was like like 64 or something or
yeah, but it was made for a reach around and $3. So
yeah.
it is what you get. What you get. You get what you pay for.
So but it's on Tubi if anybody wants to check it out and see a 65-year-old couple making out for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's on
Chad.
Shudder too. So
Just for reference, what do you think of The Legend of Boggy Creek?
I haven't seen it.
Okay.
oh,
I can't find it. I can't find it streaming anywhere.
I think
Okay.
that's on Shudder too.
Hunter, what do you think of that?
Look, it is what it is. It did not change my life. I didn't see it as a kid, so I know like people like Lyle Blackburn, it changed everything for them. It's a crappy movie, but it has a couple of good parts and it has a gorgeous girl in it towards the end. So,
Okay, so where does this compare to that then? Because I think that movie's boring as sin.
Bog is below it.
Okay, so this
Bog
is
is
more
definitely
entertaining
below
than Bog. Okay, or than Legend of Boggy Creek.
Boggy Creek is better than Bog for
Oh,
sure.
okay. Jesus.
There's nothing that like in Boggy Creek. There's like some things you want to see. I love like the songs about the kid meeting the guy, the hermit and stuff. And then there's like I said, there's a gorgeous girl at the end, and there's a couple of cool scenes. There's none of that in Bog. Bog is just like this slog through like shitty B drive-in movie stuff. But I love it too.
And there's no actual bog, I don't think. There's like a lake that they call
It's a lake.
Bog Lake.
Yeah,
And
it's not a bog.
Awesome.
but there is this like a swamp witch in here too, who's played by the
Witchy pool.
wing yeah. Who's played by the main actress who's in the love subplot. She also plays the witch.
Yeah, she's like a big time actress from like
Loaded with
30
makeup.
years prior to the making of that movie.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
Well, here we go. I wanted to look for a creature feature after trying to prep this new house. I want to chill out. So I was like, oh, Nightwing is on, I think, Tubi. I said, I remember that's about bats. Let's turn that on. I didn't realize it's almost 2 hours of Native American tribal politics and like the witch doctor versus like the new age of like, thinking that stuff is crap.
I think I have seen this movie.
You've seen it. Trust me, Jack. You and I have both saw this. It's like 1979. By the way, it's directed by Arthur Hiller. Now, you might say, youngins, who's Arthur Hiller? He directed The Out of Towners, which is the most hysterical New York movie ever made. Love Story. Let's see. What else did he do? Silver Streak. The In-Laws. That came out the same year as this movie. So
Wow.
This is a director with insane chops. This movie is this is a long ride, man. You don't get a lot of bat stuff, and the bat things that you do get, they're legitimate, like either actual vampire bats or like models and stuff flapping around.
You mean
But
Dracula's?
it's yeah, it's not what I remembered it to be. I think as a kid I was just happy with 5 minutes of bats eating people. Nowadays,
Go back
I
to the
need more
cast
than
real
that.
quick.
Yeah.
Was that Kathy Lee? What's her name? Crosby?
No. She looks like her.
Uh,
She's very pretty, whatever. She was in love with the Native American sheriff, the tribal sheriff. This all takes place in New Mexico. And what's going on is there is an invasion of vampire bats that are this one dude who's natural, the bat tracker, has been following them for months and years. And they're living in a cave and coming out. But there's a lot of stuff going on with a shaman who is invoking the end of the world. Like everybody's afraid of the shaman, but the young sheriff.
I'm pretty sure I've seen this movie.
There's like like the shaman's body disappears and there's like shamanic visions and stuff. And
Shamanic.
There's bats, vampire bats eating people. I'm like, what the F is going on in this movie? But
Shamanic.
like, you could boil this down to a great 15-minute YouTube movie, but it's not. It's almost 2 hours of whatever. But I'll forgive Arthur Hiller because it's the same year he put out The In-Laws, which is one of the funniest movies ever made. But yeah, if you love bats, check out Nightwing. Free
This
on
is the
Tubi.
70s?
The 70s,
79,
yeah. Close
yeah.
to the 80s.
Yeah. So they hadn't quite figured out the pacing yet.
No. And the length. Length is an issue. For sure.
That's what I've been told my whole life. What?
I can't feel a thing. It's like hot dogs down a hallway. But yeah,
Wow.
I mean, you could watch way worse things. We have reviewed way worse things being made today. There was at least some art and craft put into this movie. So check it out.
All right.
You could watch last week's movie.
You could watch any main feature of this year.
That's what I'm saying. What the heck was our last main feature? I can't remember. It was terrible.
I've wiped it out.
Oh, the Professor's movie. I can't even think of the name of it now.
I've already forgotten.
Every time we do a show, I put a magnet. I sleep on a magnet, hoping it'll fight my brain.
I think it was the one. I think
Elevator
it was
Game.
Yeah.
Oh, elevator game. There we go.
I did the Men in Black thing.
Really? I'm pretty sure that's what Shudder did to me.
Speaking of Shudder, I watched another found footage movie on Shudder that Hunter has seen called Home Movie from 2008.
Ooh. I want to hear what you think about this.
I don't know if you mentioned this when you talked about it. Maybe you did. Adrian Pasdar is in this movie, who is the Heroes guy who was also in Near Dark.
Yes. I didn't mention that, but he's really good, right?
So I'm watching this movie, and the guy's voice, I go, oh, he sounds like the dude from Heroes, whose voice, after a while, kind of bugs me.
Oh, this guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's got a very distinctive voice. And so I'm like, wow, he sounds just like that guy. And then I'm like, wait a minute. I think that's him. So I like stop and look at my phone. So this is about a husband and wife. The husband's like a priest and the mother's like a psychiatrist or psychologist.
Pastor. He's a pastor, Jack.
Pastor.
Because he gets the bang. He's not a priest.
And they have troubled children. So they move like out to the woods to like try and get them away from society and get them fixed.
I'd put those kids in a burlap bag and throw them in a river. But that's how I would handle the situation.
That like you get little hints throughout the thing that these kids are bad news. And then again, as with most movies, most of the real fun happens at the end of the movie. Somebody was talking before about the length of a movie. Like that was was it you, Chad? The length of the movie was short, but it felt long. This movie's only like 70 minutes long, but it feels longer. But it's not a bad movie. It's an interesting movie. It's worth a watch. But it definitely holds off on the good stuff till the end.
But there is good stuff.
There's some really wicked stuff though throughout it.
Yeah, it's definitely it's good. It's
The best
worth
part
a
is
watch.
the mother's a psychologist living with two psychopaths who can't see how insane they are. But yeah, my wife comes from that kind of grouping, and I understand they're just dumb. They can't see.
They could have had more fun. Like they you do get some fun with the kids, but they could have maybe.
But I think they keep it within the limits of what kids that age can do.
Yeah,
you could have gone crazy, but then you're almost making them supernatural. So it was just like, what do two psychotic kids? What can they possibly do in this house just with them and what's around them? I think that part they handled well.
So I definitely, again, if you're looking for a found footage movie, both of the movies I watched this week are ones you should definitely check out.
And on Shudder.
And it's on Shudder.
Nice.
Okay.
And the other one I watched, I think, was on Prime. So I did not pay for either one.
Optimus Subprime.
And no ads.
Dude, the ads are getting crazy. We're going back to like the 70s and 80s with ads now.
I want just regular TV back. Like now it's like I'm paying for platforms and they want to start putting ads back on them.
Give me an antenna. I'll put it on my TV and I'll just watch it like I did on a black and white 13-inch.
It's going to end up being like it was 15 years ago, and they're going to be all pissed off about piracy. I'm like, yeah, because you're making it a pain in the ass for everybody to watch your stuff. Once Netflix kind of killed piracy to a large degree, because it's like, oh, I can just pay $15 a month and watch it. Now it's like, oh, I'll pay $20 a month and sit through ads, and you don't have half the movies I want anymore. And it's like,
yeah, but I'll pay $20 a month for 7 different streaming things, 10 here, 15 there, death by 1,000 cuts.
Yep.
Anybody have anything else?
Nope.
No.
Okay. Then it's time to look to the skies and talk about our main feature.
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite scary movie?
I don't know.
You have to have a favorite. What comes to mind?
Jason, would you please give us the synopsis of this?
Whoa! We never see this.
Wow.
I'm loving
what's
this.
happening right now. One of the kids from Last Man Standing decided to be in a movie with no dialogue, so she didn't have to remember her lines. So she picked the first one she had, which happened to be an alien invasion film about a girl who had a past, I hate to use the word trauma, but an experience in her life that made her a pariah in her town. And she lives in this epic house on an incredible property, alone. And one night, aliens come calling, and she has to turn into John Rambo with no dialogue. There you go.
Perfect.
It was.
All right. We want to save Hunter for last or let him go first?
Let's save him for last.
Yeah, let's save him for last. I agree.
You guys do some edging. Wait for me to finish.
Okay, I'm going to go first.
All right.
I like this movie. 2/3 of this movie is a really, really fun alien movie. And then kind of changes gears on you. And I think it's going to be very polarizing. But in short, after thinking about it, because I had to stop for a second and be like, wait, what do I think of the end of this movie? And when I thought about it more, I think this is a great movie. That's all I'm going to say until we get into it.
Whoa.
Okay.
Chad?
I really like this movie. It was very entertaining. I thought it was I kind of chuckled at the, 3-4 endings that, we joke about Lord of the Rings and all of the endings that it had. And this kind of felt like that. I was like, okay, so this is the end. Oh, okay. Oh, so this is the end. And you're right, Jack. I think it is going to be polarizing. I'm already seeing it. Some people saying, I like this, but I didn't like the end. I love this, and I like the end. I liked the end. I'm not sure. I don't think that it was. I had kind of turned my brain off, so I wasn't ready to be thinking that hard about the end. But if I'd have not, kind of turned it off, I don't think it's something that you can't completely not figure out. It's not like a huge puzzle. It's just there's a deeper meaning. I think there's an allegory there, and if you don't get it, it's still a great movie. I did enjoy it. It was refreshing, and judging by the fact that that I'm seeing it freaking everywhere, I think it was an excellent choice for tonight to pick.
All right.
Nice. I had never heard of this movie when you guys said to do it, and I was like, okay, alien invasion film, cool. Hunter's going to have a raging hard on, so let's...
no way, you're right there with me with alien
jump
stuff.
into this one.
That's not just
More
me.
like
No
a
one's-
semi.
no one's
more
there
like a
with you.
semi.
All right. Yeah,
I
my church.
really liked this movie. This was such a breath of fresh air. It was like, is this 3 out of 4 weeks now, or 2 out of 4 weeks? We've had good movies. I don't know what's happening, but it was a lot of fun. The lack of dialogue it honestly took me quite a while to even realize there hadn't
Yes.
been anything said.
Yeah.
It's just done so well, you don't even really notice it for a while. So it doesn't. It's a gimmick, but it doesn't like kick
Doesn't
you in the
feel
face
like
like
one.
most gimmicks. Yeah,
It doesn't feel like
And-
a gimmick at all.
you know, I like a good gimmick, so bring it on. So I thought that was good. She is a great leading lady. I've never really watched much of Last Man Standing. My wife loved it, so I would see it like in the periphery for a while, but I hadn't watched much of it. She is outstanding.
Yeah.
What is
Aliens-
Last Man Standing?
That was
Tim
the
Allen show.
TV show?
The Tim
That was
Allen
on for
show.
8
Oh,
years.
I never saw it.
It
She's
ran
one
for
of
a
his
long
daughters.
time. And I thought the aliens were cool. I was in the whole time. I don't love the ending, but it wasn't so like terrible that it made me not like the movie or anything. So I still really enjoy it. But man, this is way up there on my list. Really, really like this movie.
All right. But now, the only opinion that really matters.
Oh, wouldn't it be funny if I crap all over this movie right now?
I wouldn't know
Get
what to
ready.
do with my life.
Get ready. No,
Get ready.
I absolutely love this movie. It's so hard to find a good alien movie. I think the last one we had was Extraterrestrial. That was 9 years ago, I
E.T.?
think. Fuck E.T. That movie sucks. So, not
Shut
E.T.
up.
There's a movie Extraterrestrial. You got to watch it, Chad. It's really good.
E.T.'s a
Caitlin
great movie.
Deaver, who is the lead in this, she's one of the daughters on Last Man Standing, which was a great show. But I remember her from The Pot Farmer. She owned a pot farm at 14 and Justified. So for you,
Oh,
and as soon as she's in it, I go, so this girl never plays a victim, ever. This girl, even when she was 14, is a badass. So I'm like, all right, I know I'm going to get some badassery in here. I loved, like you said, Jason, the gimmick of her not talking. And at first I thought maybe she was mute, but then I thought, well, you're living alone and you were just, shunned in your community. So you're really not talking to anybody. And when she does speak, it's kind of powerful. And I love the fact of the aliens and all the different types of aliens that you got. And I really loved the ending because you have to have gone down alien rabbit holes like I have to understand like what that ending was all about. There's a reason for that ending, but unless you're a psychotic like me who just lugged 180 UFO books to a new house, you're not gonna understand where the hell they're coming from. But I really love the ending too. So it's high on my list this year. There's like 2 good movies, and then the rest are just scrabbling for some kind of place.
How high is this on your alien list?
On the alien list, this is right up there with, like, I love Communion, I love Fire in the Sky, Extraterrestrial is really good. This is right at top 5 probably.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a ton of fun. I just wanted like a fun, not just an alien movie, but it's a fun monster movie too.
so the person who made this did The Babysitter and a couple
Oh.
other.
Oh, The Babysitter, I love that movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
So number one, it is fun. They don't shy away from showing you the alien, and they show aliens. That might be, that's a mild spoiler. But the change in the third act that we can get into more in spoilers, but that's going to throw people. It really changes the movie. And
Yeah.
so there, like I said, I had to digest it. And so I'm thinking about it. And then I go, all right, so I just saw a movie that doesn't just go down the same victim gets attacked, fights back ending. It's something different. It made you think, and it pulled off this incredibly entertaining movie with, there is like one line of dialogue in it that's muffled.
Yeah.
And I was like, if I can't sit back and not just like start nitpicking and stuff and appreciate the stuff they set up at the beginning and they paid it off at the end, and then they had this ending that, again, like, you're going to think about it like days later. You're like, oh yeah. So I have to tip my cap. I thought it was really creative, filmmaking and really well shot. I mean,
Yes.
See, here's something. Was watching it on this giant TV that was left in the house for us, and the color and the contrast was so bad, I could barely make out anything, and it's all at night.
oh,
And even despite the fact of me not being able to like make out a lot, I still loved it. And by the way, this is how good the movie is. Michael Clark liked it.
whoa!
It's like the second horror movie he's liked in the last 10 years.
That should be on the poster. Michael Clark likes this movie.
Even Michael Clark
says
liked
Michael Clark
Nailed
dug it.
You know, I was actually thinking about this afterwards because this movie looked like a big budget movie that would come out in the theater. It looked great. The effects were great. The way it was shot, everything you guys said. I wonder how much money do you save by not having dialogue, not having to do take after take after take of different ways of saying things. I wonder how much they saved there that they could then put into like CG or lighting, or maybe it didn't save them time because they spent more time on the lighting because most of this movie is at night. But I'm just curious. Like,
I don't think you save a thing because a verbal take is easy. It's that visual take that I think is even harder.
Yeah, there's a lot of action in here, a lot of running around and falling.
She's got to tell you the story through her expressions too.
Yeah.
So Jason's right though. There's not going to be like like a muffled. We got to redub it. There's a lot of sound work to be done anyway. But no dialogue. It's definitely lightens the load a little bit, and
even just the amount of actors. I mean, you don't have people talking, so you have less people involved. You have less hotel rooms you're getting. Like the logistics of it are a lot lighter. With
this guy's been on a set before. He knows what he's talking about.
There we go.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I mean, I'm just saying, guys.
It's not a fucking
I'm kind of a big deal. But honestly, like I wonder, like if you're going to make a small movie, not that it didn't look small. I have no idea what the budget was, but if you're going to do something that's kind of out there, particularly the way this ending is, writing something from a different perspective like this with almost no actors. I mean, I'm just curious what that does for a budget or how long it takes you to shoot it or anything like that. I have no idea. I'm curious.
I think so. Hulu also put out the Predator movie, Prey, and that movie was really good. There was one real wonky special effect with the bear.
The bear.
This I really thought that there wasn't a CG moment that really jumped out at me. I was like, oh, that just took me out. And I mean, you had CG.
They used traditional gray aliens, but variations on the gray alien that I thought.
But they never really looked fake.
No, it was $23 million was the budget on this movie. That's 14 Blumhouse movies.
Yeah. Okay, that's a pretty big budget.
Yeah,
that's a pretty big budget. Honestly, the only thing that was CG in this movie that I didn't like was when, you know what? I'll do it in spoilers because I don't want to spoil
right.
something.
Let's get the spoilers.
There was one CG shot.
Ring the bell. It's for like and love.
Sorry.
That was really loud tonight, right?
That one was really loud.
It's been loud.
The power of Christ compelled Jack.
It's not as loud as Lutsky over there, so I want to hear it.
Maybe you need to do the Salt Bay with it. Like back
I'll
here.
go over here next time.
The CG when she kills the first alien and the blanket is on it and it lifts up into the air and the blanket falls off. The blanket is CG and it looks terrible. The alien looks fine because it's not it's not real, but the blanket looked really fake. But that was the only thing in the movie that I was like, Everything else looked damn good.
I mean, the flying saucers looked awesome.
Yeah. The giant aliens that are as tall as trees looked incredible.
And
I
love like the
spider
alien.
When the giant spider alien comes, the movie kicks up a notch. Like
the Slender. As soon as I saw him, I said Slender Man. But the only part of the movie that I did roll my eyes at was the Slender Man one did that whole backwards crawl toward the camera. And I was just like, man, even in this movie, but it's nitpicking. It's nitpicking, and it's But I tell you, I love those. I love movies that it's like, Jason, I didn't know anything about this movie. I wouldn't have known that it was an alien movie until we talked about it in our group thing.
Yeah, I had no idea.
I love movies that you kind of are following. I'm following this thing. Okay, it's a home invasion with an alien. Okay, and then the alien is killed, and you're not even halfway through the movie. That's when I was really all in. I was like, cool, now what's going to happen? And I was thinking, girl, you're in trouble now, because if this is anything like E.T., people are going to come, his family's going to come looking for him. But that's when I was
That might have
really
been end of the first act when she kills that alien.
Yeah.
I mean, it's early in the movie. It's shocking.
Yeah.
And it's really well done, too, because it's using... So I was wondering, is this movie not going to be that good? Because when she's running from it and things are turning on and powering on and off, the doors to the refrigerator were opening and closing. I was like, there is no electrical thing that's going to open and close those doors. So either this is telepathic or they're already breaking their own rules.
I was thinking magnets.
Telekinetic, sorry. And then later when she kills it, it is telekinetic, and it like picks her up like she's in the freaking X-Men. I thought all that was so well done. And the way she killed it, like it wasn't even concerned about her being able to fight back, and she was able to kill it. I thought just that was great. I really like that.
That was a little like the lights. That was a little Close Encounters homage that I thought was really cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love
that. So where I thought the CG was going to go off the rails was when the gooey spidery thing that goes into the throat.
Oh,
yeah. That never like I thought I kept waiting for that to just look really fake, and it didn't
look great.
So that goes in her throat. She starts to hallucinate, and we get a look into her past a little bit, but then she tears it out.
Right.
And then the part of the movie that kind of threw me for a little while was there was a whole thing with the beam that would come down, and at some point, somehow between the ship and the thing that was in her and whatever, a clone of her is made, and she fights the clone. And for a minute, I was like, "Wait, what is that? Is that her friend? Is that did they recreate her friend? Oh wait, no, that's her. Oh, they can make clones now." So it took me a few minutes to kind of figure out what exactly was happening there, and accept it. But I did. But I was like, "Oh wow, now they can clone you."
Well, look,
I didn't really understand that part either, because it's never seen any other point in the movie. So it's just like, okay, they're just kind of throwing kitchen sink at it. Didn't take me out of it, but I was like, oh, this is...
I think it was like that Lovecraftian lozenge that they all had in there was taking over the whole body. But since she had kind of like...
You got your screen name in. That was good.
But since she had like a this realized that these people are under a delusion of having a good life, so they just keep it there, and she realized that, so she took it out. And I think that man, I totally lost my train of thought. I have no idea where I'm going with this, but I had it.
About the cloning?
Wow. Yes, thank you. Jeez,
that's awesome.
Wow. I'm getting old.
The one of us who doesn't drink is like,
who's drinking?
So man, I got all nervous and I'm hot and tingly now because I was talking, I was like, dude, you have no idea what you're freaking talking about right now, do you?
Hot seat, Chad.
Yes.
Were you just waiting for it to come back while you were still talking?
Yeah.
I'll just keep vamping until it comes
So anyway, the cloning, I think that their bodies were completely taken over, but when she did that thing was all that they need, that lozenge that had her DNA in now or whatever part of her. So they just used that, and now there's two of them, but that doesn't work in the world that they're trying to, what a town that they're trying to take over to have two of them, but that's kind of like the next best thing. I don't know. That's how I kind of took it.
I think it was a mind game. Now there's a whole philosophy on what alien abductions are about. Here we go.
Yeah, come on.
There's a whole thing on how there's a whole train of thought where they are here to feed off emotions, and they are also conduits to the dead, which is why she can see her friend that she murdered. That's the big reveal. And I think that her tenacity, they were feeding on what was coming out of her, which is why they weren't just immediately, transforming her or killing her. And I think at the end, when they saw like the trauma that was her, it's almost like sitting back and smoking a cigarette, and you're like, oh, that felt pretty good. So in the ending, they're like, you know what? You are so fucked up, and you gave us such a great, money shot. We're going to let you live with all these people that we've taken over, and you can have all the things that you want to have that you can't have because of what you did, and enjoy your life because you just gave us a piece of what we want. We'll give you a little bit of, and we'll cohabitate from here on in.
Speaking of that, that's a great theory. And speaking of what she did you guys think that she did something like completely like innocent?
Yes.
I was shocked when they showed her freaking whack her friend in the head with a giant rock.
Well, I assume she accidentally killed her friend because her friend had gone 10 years and her friend's parents spit in her face.
Yeah.
So.
Well, at the beginning, I thought
it was a car accident, maybe.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking at the beginning she was driving. And then when they were in the woods and it looked like they were fighting, I was like, oh, she just probably pushed her down and impaled her, not realizing which character was which. But when she reached for that rock, I was, because I just thought, but I kind of like that because instead of showing us how innocent she was and none of this was really her fault, it was 100% her fault. Yeah, she wasn't trying to kill her friend, but man, that wasn't like just a pure and total accident.
Yeah, that wasn't an accident. Yeah.
I've never been tempted to do that in my life to a friend. You grab a rock and strike him in the head with it.
Not a friend.
Yeah, the only time that happened to me was when I met Jack.
Long enough.
Yeah.
I kicked 2 people down long flights of stairs.
Your best friend?
No. Neither was. One was
this
a
is her best
scumbag, and the other was a stranger. So,
I thought about hitting Hunter with the skull back there.
I'm not talking about. I have assault and battery on my record. I'm not talking about having going after somebody or beating somebody up. I'm talking about
not your friend. No,
hitting your best friend in the head with a rock.
I'm going to hit Jack
rang a bell
in the head with a rock
sorry,
next time I see him.
We just get a little backstory on Chad right there.
Yeah, let's ignore that.
All Chad's backstory is in all his books, by the way. Just pieces together.
This is true.
Backstory.
Toten in the chat says something interesting that I kind of had a theory on, but I don't know if it went out the window or not. But when the tentacle things were coming out of the throats of the aliens when they died, I was wondering if the Lovecraftian lozenge was like a different alien that had taken over this race of gray aliens and then was using them to take over other aliens. I thought that would have been a cool idea. I don't think that was the case, but I like his idea that the bodies are just suits and that the Lovecraftian lozenge is the actual creature.
Mm.
That could be very interesting.
Like a parasite.
Yeah, I mean, and that would make sense if the suits then are like different, because it was like every time she would defeat something, they sent a bigger one after her.
Yeah.
It's still just like, quote unquote little girl, so they weren't going to send the army. They would just send like a bigger creature. So
Chad, have
but
you
I
seen
think they were
Slither?
getting off on her reaction to
Have I seen what?
Slither?
Oh, gosh, yes.
Would you consider those lozenges or something else?
Those are definitely something else.
That's for sure. Freudian lozenges.
We need more movies like Slither, man.
Oh yeah,
we need more movies like this.
Yeah, for real. I really like this. I really like this a lot.
So the ending, though, with the dance sequence and stuff like that, what'd you think of that?
So the director said that he's always wanted to make a musical and has been turned down at every corner. So this was his chance to make a musical. But I would love to have a chance to talk to him to find out, was like the theory that I put out there that I've read and heard of many times. Did he use that to say, oh, I can make a dance number out of this? Or did he just stick it in there? I don't know. But I love the ending of this movie. It was so weird.
One of the great things about this movie is it doesn't explain everything. So it explains enough But we can have conversations like this, be like, well, wait, do you think it's that, or you think of this? And you could debate that, and it makes the movie kind of keep living.
Yeah.
You know, you'll keep talking
Yeah.
about it. It doesn't just answer it. Now, no sequels, no nothing. Let's just let this one lie.
No, you can do sequels
Yeah.
of this. Of the crap they do sequels to, you could do this, but let's
You
see what
could,
UFO
but-
Twitter thinks.
UFO Twitter.
Those asshats.
The ending, it didn't ruin the movie for me or anything, but we saw this great action survival movie end with the dance number. You know what I mean? I'm like,
Loved it.
not my favorite ending I've seen this year, and it's definitely going to keep it from being like my number one or whatever. But you know, it didn't ruin the movie by any means, and I will definitely recommend this to other people. But I'll be curious to hear what they think of the ending.
Yeah, I didn't hate it. It was nice, you know. This was a chick that was very remorseful for what she'd done, and kind of, you know, did her time, even though she wasn't behind bars. And you know, she's living among
Self-imposed time.
fake people doing what she loves to do, which is dance. And one of the things that she loves to do, dance and just be part of, have people, you know, love her and care about her and want to be around her. And
Yeah,
she's-
she was
got
living
all
in the
that.
fantasy world before it happened, with her made-up town of the little houses she was buying
Yeah.
and dancing. Now she got to live in like a larger version of it.
Yeah, yeah.
It went full
So
circle.
the dork part of me was like, why do the aliens want to live this way? Because we saw that the throat thing was in the humans. Like, so they just want to be down here hoeing
Being
the
human.
garden and doing a dance, like a choreography at night. Like,
Here's the
that's-
thing: you can't understand an alien because it's utterly alien to us. You can't. You'll if they're actual aliens, we'll never understand ever what their intentions are or their motivations because they are.
I'm just
utterly
saying,
alien
for
to humans.
as a viewer watching a movie, you know, watching the intergalactic aliens.
I like how
Do a little
certain he
dance
is
number.
of that. No, you see, we will never understand.
Well, you can't.
You can't.
You
UFO Twitter
can't.
tells us that you can't.
Go on Twitter, but you can't understand the motivations of something that's completely alien to the human experience.
You can't.
But and that's why I liked it, because it explored that avenue of it where you're not going to get a satisfying ending, because if aliens came down tomorrow, we're not going to get a satisfying ending to that unless you like probing. Then you're going to be very satisfied. But other than that,
Sign
you're not.
me
gonna-
up.
Why are you in my ass? Can anyone tell me why?
Dominated. They dominated the planet so they could do square dancing. Like, you know,
Maybe.
you know,
Never know.
maybe not my favorite ending, but
How cool
Still a
was
good
that bus scene? And did you guys catch on when she first got on the bus? Did you guys see the mailman in the back seat, like in the far back?
no.
No.
Oh, I did, and I was like, uh-oh. I was like, that dude's an alien, and I wonder how many of these others are aliens.
No, I was too busy wondering why she put on a disguise to get on the bus. That's why I was like, what is going on?
I think that was hiding from the town.
Yeah, the
Yes,
whole
it
town.
was, but at the time I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was
So I was
weird.
focused on that. I did not see the mailman. That's a nice touch.
Yeah.
No, it's a
It
good
really,
movie,
the
man.
only words in the movie are muffled. It's like, "I'm sorry, Maud."
I'm sorry, Maud. What a terrible name for
Yeah.
a young girl. But I thought that was beautiful.
Did you guys, you old guys, what's the first thing you thought of?
You
when
old
heard
guys,
The name
yeah,
Maud?
go F yourself, Chad. How
There
why don't you
is
say,
Maud.
say it right? Say we old guys.
All right,
Go
we
ahead.
old guys.
Rephrase
Then
your
there's
question.
Maud.
What did you think of when you saw her
Then
name was
there's
Maud?
Maud.
I don't
This-
remember the
thought-
theme
yeah,
song,
it's
but
be Arthur. Absolutely.
All right.
I like Sheridan says aliens play Sims too.
yeah.
That's funny.
All right. Are we? Anything else to? I think we all thumbs up this one.
I would just
so-
say watch it. I'm going to watch it again on a better TV so I can make
Yeah.
out some of the aliens more. But yeah, this is tops. This is right up there with Evil Dead Rise right now for me. For the
This
year.
is a good one.
Oh yeah.
God,
all
we
right.
needed this.
Well, we'll figure out our next movie during the week. We'll let you know. And anything else, or are we out of here?
Next movie will suck, guaranteed. So
Yeah.
get ready.
All right, everybody. Have a good week, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Game over, man.